The state of the NFL running back market. As you guys know, the NFL running back market has been a topic for the past few weeks. A lot of guys asking for contract extensions or asking to be traded or this or that. We're going to break down some of that in the video. Of course, recently, a few days ago, Jonathan Taylor asked for a trade from the Colts. And Jim Irsay said that he would not trade Jonathan Taylor now, or he said by October, he said I guess they're gonna try to negotiate something out or work a deal out. Jonathan Taylor was a big part of the offense for the past few years. He has been dominating. He was the Offensive Player of the Year a few years ago as well. Jonathan Taylor has been an amazing player for them. So we're gonna see how this shapes out. A player that wants out and the team don't want to get you out. So we already know how that story goes. On Saquon Barkley, he signed his 1 year deal a few weeks ago. He got more than what the franchise tag was. The franchise tag was like $10 million. He got 11 mil, so he got a little bit more than what the franchise tag was, but it's still, in his opinion, not enough for what he's doing on the field. And like you look at from his perspective, they looking from the team perspective, they probably say, well, Barkley, you've been injured. You tore your ACL before. You've been injured a few times and missed a lot of games, early on. In your first year you played well, but then the next year you got injured, and you had other injuries here and there and stuff. This is kind of your first year back in a little while. So you had like the injuries that have been plaguing you, so haven't been able to perform to the highest level. You've been performing at a great level, of course, but not the highest levels. And we're not willing to risk paying you that much money because we don't know if you're going to hold up for that long time. And they can look at Saquon Barkley perspective and say, hey, your quarterback you just paid $40 million, who threw only 17 touchdowns. Not knocking Daniel Jones, but they paid him $40 million for throwing 17 touchdowns. He had a few rushing touchdowns as well, but 17 touchdowns, $40 million. If I'm Saquon Barkley, I'm like, most of those touchdowns and most of his success comes when I'm on the field. Saquon Barkley has been one of the most dynamic players in football and one of the dynamic players, in my opinion, the best player on offense for the Giants. You look at it really, just break it down, his production rate, when he go out there and performs at a good level, and high level, they win games like that. Saquon Barkley was the driving factor, was a big factor. There's a lot of games you can go back there. The Packers game they played last year, and some other games too as well, where Saquon Barkley was the driving force to helping them win those games because he go out there and just absolutely dominate. And you look at like in that sense, you're like, hey, so I'm doing all this and I'm producing all this big amount of production, and you guys want to pay me the amount I'm worth. Then you start picking these false narratives about what I'm saying. I want 20 million. I want this like that. I'm not asking for any of that. So they try to do that all the time to the players to try to like silence the player. Like, oh, the player asking for too much and kind of get the people, the fans, and the whole media to kind of turn on them. So I putting false narratives out there. But in reality, he probably just asking maybe for like 15 million a year. 15 million a year. We see Alvin Kamara got 15 million a year. We know Christian McCaffrey got, I think, 15, 16 million a year as well. So like he's kind of acting the ballpark of those guys. He feel like he's on par with those guys, being a dual threat running back, and he think he's worth that. And in my opinion, if I was done, like, yeah, he's our best player. He's our best player on our offense. And you could arguably say the best player on the team. I think he is the best player on the team. And he go out there when he's in the game, he go out there and help us win games like that. I know he had the injuries and that kind of concern, but football is about taking chances or taking risks as well, like that. So go out there, give him a chance, let him go out there and let him shine and let him play. If you guys implement like a 1-2 punch back system like that, maybe you can keep the health concerns a little down as well. But I think Barkley is due on one of those 15 million a year type contracts. Another thing as well, of course, Austin Eckler is another guy too. You look at his numbers, you'd be like, they paying him way less than under the running back market. He asked for a trade, and the Chargers said they don't want to trade him, want to keep him around. But he led the Chargers in receiving. He led him in catching, right? I think he was catching one time. He always near 2,000 scrimmage yards. He had 40 touchdowns, 40 total touchdowns over the past few years. I think past 2 years, 40 total touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns. That's a lot of times getting in the end zone. We've seen that little dance he was doing a guitar like he was Prince in the end zone. We've seen that a lot of times. And he has not been able to get any type of contract extension or anything. So Austin Eckler has been playing at a high level. 40 touchdowns is a lot. You know how many times you gotta see a guy, and you know how many dances I come up with to do 40 touchdowns? That's a lot of dances. It's like 40 touchdowns? Dang, I can't even think of 40 dances to do in the end zone. So they gotta pay him some type of money, like up his stuff to a certain level, because he's on that level with Christian McCaffrey, the Saquon Barkley's, the Alvin Kamara's. He's up there with those guys. I think, in my opinion, the best running back in the league is Derrick Henry. He's only getting paid $12.5 million, which is a lot of money, of course, in real life terms. But from the amount of production they putting in, I mean, Derrick Henry had the season we put up 2,000 rushing yards and 1,800 and all that stuff. He missed a few games and he came back and put up these big numbers and stuff. Derrick Henry has been absolutely freight train in the backfield. So I feel like they should go out there and try to get these guys paid now. But you can look at it from both perspectives and both sides and say, well, the GMs don't want to pay them because of the health concerns. And of course, of the usage rate, the more they get used, the kind of like the wear and tear that builds upon them, and they kind of get burnt out. You look at Ezekiel Elliott, you look at Le'Veon Bell, you look at the Todd Gurleys. Those guys are amazing players. They had very good careers. Even those 6, 7 years they played. I think Todd Gurley played 5 or 6 years. He's a very dominant, very good player. You look at his numbers, like, dang, you think he played longer than when he played, but he kind of burnt out because the injuries got to him. He had injuries that was kind of like lagging on and nagging on through college that got to the NFL. Then we seen Le'Veon Bell wanted more money, and with the Jets, he didn't work out too well, and he kind of burnt out as well. And then we seen Ezekiel Elliott, the Cowboys. He started off very hot, but then every year he kind of seemed to decline. And now, you know, he's kind of look for a different team. I don't know if he's going to retire or he's going to try to find a new team or something, but you can look at the GMs can bring that stuff up and be like, well, we don't, and they kind of look at running backs like being just common. If you guys ever watch Pokemon, or if you guys ever, you know, Pokemon you see all the time, like, oh, we see those Pokemons all the time, but you don't know the rare Pokemons like Me Too. You don't see those 24/7. Like you playing like an RPG game like Dark Souls, or you're playing. I was playing that Wulong Dynasty game. That game is very difficult. A few months ago, but you know, you have like common items where you can like find like around anywhere like that. But I can find the game, I'm supposed to dispose it. But a rare item, like, oh, it's a rare sword that I just found in the game. I can dispose this item. I need this. That's like how they view quarterbacks. But running backs, I feel like they view them as common items. They're like, oh, we can find them. We use him for 4 years. His contract go up. We decline to pay him. Then go somewhere else, and we just draft a new one. Like that's kind of how you're looking at them, but. Some of the running backs, if you look at it from their perspective, they're like the best players on their team. You look at some of these guys, they're the best players on their team, and they have the highest usage rate. And then when they're on the field, the production rates are very, 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 very high up. So they like feel like they put up a lot of work, and they're doing a lot of things to help the team win, but they're not getting compensated for that. So it's a lot of like back and forth between these two parties, the running backs at the little Zoom meeting as well. And you know, some of the owners and GMs and stuff saying that the running back market is going to be like this because of this and that and all type of stuff. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about the market, what you think the market is heading, and will it be fixed, or will the running backs get paid a little bit more, or is it gonna keep declining. In my opinion, I feel like it might it depend on who you are. I feel like the dual threat guys, the guys who are like Austin Eckler should be getting paid bigger money because like that he's a dual threat guy, but he started off undrafted, so the contract negotiation a little different when he a few years ago when he signed than from now because production has went up a lot. But I feel like the dual threat guys have a say. They'd be like, hey, I'm doing both. If you're catching like 50, 60 passes a season, and you're also you know, rushing for 1,000 yards, but you have like 500, 600 receiving yards as well, I feel like you have a lot of say. You can probably try to like bid yourself as a receiver and a running back a little bit, and have a little more bidding game. But you kind of a one-dimensional guy, a guy who's just a runner like that, or a guy who just kicks at the backfield. You might be a little more difficult for you to kind of like negotiate, but we'll see how things shape out. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. But I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.